Good evening, I'm Jerry Lyons. Thanks very much for joining us tonight for News and Views. We have a lot of people that are going to be telling you about some great things they're doing in our communities. Also want to remind you that we will be at a number of events coming up in the next week or so as we celebrate the independence of our country. So let's get going. I'm going to start right off now with Captain Jeff Osnow, who is with Placer County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Is it correct to say that you run the Tahoe office now?
I'm the commander of the Tahoe station. That's my official title.
It's cold up there.
It's beautiful though right now.
Judging by the motorcycle you drive, weather is not a problem.
That's right.
You don't seem to worry about inclemency too much. One of the things that we're going to be telling you about will explain the reason why Captain Osnow is wearing the coat that you see here. Now, you may have thought that perhaps only NASCAR drivers wear a resplendent item like that, but that's not true, because the captain is doing something that is very great and very noble for the Placer County Chaplaincy. And as part of his journey, he is going to be traveling 6,000 miles by motorcycle from where to where? From
Las Vegas to New York, all back roads, secondary back roads.
I didn't know we had any back roads in New York.
You know, it's by Lake Erie, so it won't be in downtown.
Oh, okay, yeah, we don't know where that is. That's that place above, as we used to say in Brooklyn.
Exactly.
Up there somewhere. Well, that's excellent. How many years have you been riding motorcycle?
About 30 years. 30 years, and about 10 of that I've been doing, gotten involved in long distance riding, where you do 1,000 miles in 24 hours or 1,500 miles in 36 hours.
So this is not exactly the biggest challenge you've ever faced.
No, I've actually, we've gone out and done about 10,000 miles in 14 days, covering 22 states. But during that, we were able to use some freeways, and you can rack some miles up going on the freeway. But this particular challenge is called the Hokahay. This is the third year it's been in existence, and it is all 2-lane back roads. So your top speeds, you may only average 40 miles an hour for the entire 6,000 miles.
Oh my gosh.
So it's anticipating about 7 to 8 days.
And you don't know exactly where you're going to be going. It's almost like a scavenger hunt, or what they call a hash harrier run, where you get instructions and all that. Exactly.
And actually, you know how this is billed. This is billed as the toughest motorcycle challenge in America. They also call it the Iditarod of Harley-Davidsons. It is an hour before the event, you're given a piece of paper with directions that are specifically written, such as travel 124 miles south, take the third left after Jones Street, at the abandoned gas station, stay to the right, take your next 2 lefts, and so forth. So it's purposely written so that you have to challenge yourself, your navigation skills come into play, and also your endurance, because the only way you can win this or respectably finish is you need to be moving 20 hours a day. You need to be going at all times. And the rules are set also. You cannot have auxiliary fuel tanks. You cannot have a chase vehicle. You cannot have a pit crew. You cannot sleep away from your motorcycle. So if you stop for a few hours in the evening, you're sleeping on the road next to your bike, or in a park or a field or behind a business or whatever you can find.
So there's going to be like, what, several thousand of you all doing this for their charities? Traveling?
Actually, it's the race. There's a lot of people that just do it to challenge themselves, but it's 1,000 people entered in 2010. I think that was the most they had. A lot less in 2011, because I think everybody heard it was crazy. That it was very difficult, and then a lot of competitors just gave up. They either too tired, or mechanical issues, or breakdowns, or accidents. There was a lot of that too. They're anticipating about 500 to 700 competitors this year.
Now, are there going to be a lot of law enforcement friends of yours that you'll meet on the way?
Actually, I have no friends or acquaintances or people that I know that are doing this challenge.
Oh, wow.
It's one of those things that it's very difficult. It's not a fun vacation. I'm taking vacation time to do this, and it's something that I love. But sleeping on the side of the road and pushing yourself for 8 days isn't necessarily a lot of guys' idea of a vacation. So
no.
I don't know why, but I couldn't get any takers. So it's just me. But one of the things I really have been looking for a way to raise money for the chaplaincy. And the law enforcement chaplaincy is such an important part of the services that we provide in the county. I've been with Placer County 28 years now, and I remember when the chaplaincy started and how it's grown to what it is today. They rely solely on donations to operate. And a lot of people don't understand the services they provide. One example I'll give, officers, when we're faced to have to go to somebody's house and inform them that they've lost a loved one in an accident, or maybe from homicide or suicide or something, it's a tragedy in these people's lives. Right. And You've got a dumb cop that shows up, and to break the news, that's not my forte. That's not our deputy's forte. The chaplains, though, train for this. The chaplains go there and they have, a service heart. They're there to counsel. They're there to give guidance. They're there to walk them through how to do, what's the next step, funeral arrangements, or what should I do. And what a tough job.
Yeah.
So honestly, we show up. We have a chaplain with us. The bad news, this horrible news is broken to them, and we leave. The chaplains may be with them for an hour or a week. It's hard to say. It depends on how they're handling this tragedy in their life. But that's just one of the many services they provide, and they rely solely on donations.
We're going to be telling you folks how you can contribute. I guess people would make pledges.
Absolutely.
For your mileage or your entire trip, or there must be other ways to do it?
They can give a lump sum donation, or if they want to really get creative here, there's a website that once the race starts, I'll have a GPS tracking device, and you'll be able to follow my progress along the route.
Wow.
In comparison to the other riders. So if somebody wants to pledge, let's say, a half a cent a mile, and I complete the entire 6,000 miles, well, they've made a $30 donation. Or if they have the means and they want to pledge $1 or 50 cents or 25 cents, whatever they can do to help out. But then they can see how I go. And if I complete the whole 6,000 miles, well, they just do simple math. Whatever they pledge, 6,000 miles, there's their donation.
Excellent. Very good. We're going to be telling you the websites to go to. Rob is way ahead of me. Thank you, Rob. Plasterchaplains.com and HokaheChallenge.com. Now, Hokahe is the Sioux Indian name for rally?
Yeah, actually, I'll clarify that. To pledge, it's the plasterchaplains.com.
Okay.
The Hokahe Challenge is actually the event, the challenge itself. That's their official website, which I have no part of. That's
they
just
can
their
read
website.
about it. Yeah.
But you can learn about what the challenge is. And Hokahe is actually the Sioux Indian. It's a rallying cry of the Sioux Indian. It would translate pretty close in our language to "Let's go, let's do this." So it's a rallying cry of the Sioux Indian.
As opposed to "Let's get Custer."
Well, there you go. That wouldn't be a good. That wouldn't be a good thing.
Okay.
But and the organizers of the events are actually out of South Dakota, in the Lakota Sioux country. So hence why they chose that name.
Wonderful. Now we're going to show this hefty bike. I can call it a bike, he said again, that the captain has. And I'll tell you, I don't know anything about motorcycles, but I couldn't believe it. And I did guess its weight correctly, so I guess I get a prize. But
there's a prize.
You're going to see 1,000 pounds worth of motorcycle here. It's absolutely beautiful. Tell us a little about it.
Well, that's my 2009 Electroglide, Ultra Classic. And it's about an 820-pound motorcycle.
Jeez.
Now, I have it outfitted up, as you see in here. The tubes on the side, that's so that I can carry a tent and a cot and a sleeping bag and a pillow, because the very limited sleep that I'm going to get on this trip needs to be quality. I need to be off the ground, and I could be in Arizona on Wednesday and Yellowstone on Thursday. I have no idea. So I have to anticipate rain, cold, heat, everything, off the ground, dirt, whatever. So I kind of fabricated those, made my carrying tubes. I get a lot of attention going down the road. You'll see on there Caltac, that's a California Tactical. That's a local business in Roseville that was gracious enough to sponsor me. California Tactical, dealing in firearms and protection gear and things like that. Another thing about sponsorships, some great local businesses that actually, until I embarked on this, I didn't know existed. One of them's right here in the building with Wave Broadband, or in this complex. Tyri Foods, or Alpine Air, Natural High Foods. These are freeze-dried foods. A lot of people use it for camping and so forth. That's what I'm going to be surviving on for the 7 or 8 days during this ride. You mix with water, you've got a meal. So that's going to be a lifesaver for me. And then Advanced Performance Coatings out of Auburn. They've done a lot of work on my bike, coating stuff. Bagger Skins is a guy right here in Rockland that does Mark business he runs all over the United States. All of the graphics you see on my bike were made by Bagger Skins, and they do, they look like custom paint jobs that stick on your bike, but also advertisement. And they're also right here in Placer County. Clearwater Lights, so my lighting that I have for my nighttime riding, he's right here in Citrus Heights. These are all local people, and their contribution to this cause is to help ensure that I've got the equipment and the means to do a safe ride and finish this thing, hopefully.
Absolutely great. Now, how long did it take you to, I guess you did a lot of this customization yourself, right? Mm-hmm. How long did it take you to build that up?
Well, the bike itself, it's been working on it for a while. I'm no stranger to cross-country trips. I have, I've done several cross-country trips on that bike. Setting it up for the race, though, just adding some lighting, the tubes to carry equipment, the waterproof bag on the back seat that you can see in one of those photos has a lot of my cold weather gear, again, because I don't know what kind of weather I'm going to encounter. But I have spent a lot of money and a lot of hours getting ready for this race, because there's a lot of things you can't see. You know, I have to go through the bearings and the tires, and I do not want to have a mechanical breakdown prevent me from finishing this fundraising effort. And on my windshield, just one quick thing. On the windshield there, you saw that there's a in memory of Curtis D. Hagedorn.
Yes.
Kurt was a retired from the Highway Patrol, and unfortunately came down with bladder cancer. Oh. He was one of my riding partners. We did a lot of rides. One of the things we wanted to do is we wanted to do a cross-country ride together just on back roads. This Hoka Challenge is that ride that we always talked about doing that we never got a chance to do together. Yeah. And the number on my fairing, 717, that's the number given to me by Hoka. I'm rider 717 in the Hoka Challenge. Well, that 717 is Kurt's birthday, 717. Oh, wow. Kind of one of those weird things that just happens.
Oh, great.
But so I'm riding in Kurt's memory on this ride as well, because he was a great man, a Marine, a highway patrolman, and just a great guy.
I'm sure he'd be very honored. Once again, here's where you can go to get some information. The HokaHayChallenge.com is the website to go to. More importantly, if you want to be involved in donating and help supporting the captain, you need to go to placerchaplains.com, and you'll be able to find out about the terrific work that the chaplaincy program there does. And yes, sir.
And they are a 501c3. It's all tax deductible, lump sum or a certain amount per mile. Any donation helps. Like I said, they are 100% funded by donations. This is how they operate.
Well, I hope they don't send you up through upstate New York, because you go through Ithaca, it never thaws out in that place.
No. Erie's about as far as we're going.
All right. Well, that's eerie enough. I want you to do something for us. You know now when the show is on, because it's on now and you're on it.
Absolutely.
How about calling us from the road a few times on a Wednesday night, letting us know how you're doing?
You know what? You got my word. I'll do that. That's a deal.
We'll give you the phone number and all the contact information. We can even, if you're in a spot and you have to do it during a rest period, we can always tape it and then use the graphics of your pictures.
You got it. I'll send you a picture from the phone and call in.
We like that very much. We like to let people know what you're doing.
That's a deal.
One thing before we part, wanted to mention too. We got to tell people the date. This is August
5th. I leave Las Vegas is when it starts, August 5th.
Yeah.
I don't know how I'm getting there, because we don't know the route. It ends in New York. I'm thinking 7 or 8 days if I can stay 20 hours in the saddle.
That's a long haul.
But it's worth it. I'll make some money for the chaplaincy, and I'll have bragging rights that I won the Hoka.
So you'll have to do about how many miles a day? About 300?
Oh no. I'm gonna try to do about 900.
Jeez.
900 to 1,000.
The most I drove in a car one day was 750 miles, and I was worn out.
I do that before lunch.
Yeah, I kind of figured you did.
Sorry.
That's all right. No problem. Always a pleasure to see you.
Thank you, sir.
Let me give you a great compliment. One thing I should mention is the fact that we interact a great many times with Ed Bonner and Devin Bell and Dina Irwin and a lot of the other
good people,
very fine people at Placer County Sheriff's Office. You were a public information officer for 11 years. Many times we came up and we did stories with you, we did interviews with you in your press conferences. You have always been courteous to the press. You have made our job easy. You respected our deadlines.
Well, thank you.
Never promised information that you did not give us. And I just got to say, you were a very professional man, and we appreciate very much the courtesies that you gave us so we could keep the audience informed.
My pleasure.
So thank you so much, Jeff.
All right.
And Godspeed and good luck on the road. And you got to call us and let us know.
I'll come back on when I win it.
All right.
There we go.
I like that. And bring the trophy.
There we go. I don't know if there is one, but I'll bring something.
We couldn't fit the motorcycle through the door. We can fit the trophy through the door.
Exactly.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right.
Good to see you.
Take care.
We are going to take a break here. We're going to show you some of the stories that Rob and I collected for you. We go to the golf courses to show you what some of the people in your communities are doing. And here's a look at what's going on in News and Views. Thanks for joining us for Wave Broadband's News and Views. I'm Jerry Lyons. Tonight, Rob McLean and I show you some golfers who are having some great times on the links, but are also playing for some good causes. We begin with the Ridge in Auburn, where last Friday, on a somewhat windy and overcast day, these golfers got off to a quick start at the shotgun tournament, the Auburn Fire Open. And it's not a surprise that many of these golfers are firefighters and their supporters who are engaged in raising funds for a wide variety of community programs, and are also raising some much-needed funding for firefighting equipment, tying in with Fire Prevention Week activities slated for the fall.
We are raising money for prevention materials, which is kind of got cut around this for the fire department this year. And in the past, we've raised money for this vintage fire truck behind us, and we have one other vintage fire truck in the Old Town Fire Station. We've also raised money for the Boys and Girls Club, for the Auburn Christmas Basket Program. We buy bikes for kids for Christmas. We do clam chowder sales during Christmas time, and we also do pancake breakfast. Those are our other fundraising events. But this one mainly is for prevention materials for Prevention Week during the school year.
109 golfers took to the course Friday showing their support, as well as 30 sponsors including Wave Broadband and 30 raffle sponsors who contributed free prizes. This 7th annual tournament, presented by the Hook and Ladder Company No. 1 and the Auburn Fire Department, was easily sold out for participation because of the great community work done by the organizations and because the course is a well-designed and therefore a popular one. Now, there are some tricky holes, and that's par for the course. The trick on this hole is to overshoot the ball so it will roll back down the hill just right and make it to the cup at the bottom of a slope. And the scenery here with lakes and wooded areas would put one in mind of Scotland, where the sport was born. And there are hazards all over the place, and a few unintentional ones, as golfers this time of year are also on the lookout for rattlesnakes, one of which is hiding here near this pile of rocks. I couldn't see it, but the staff at the Ridge is used to spotting them and quickly and safely removing them. If you would like to help the Auburn Hook and Ladder Company No. 1 and the Auburn Fire Department, visit this website, auburncityfire.com. And you will not only be able to help the Auburn Hook and Ladder Company No. 1, which has a proud history dating back to 1852, you will also be helping many of your friends and neighbors who enjoy a variety of their programs throughout the year. And now here's Rob McLean.
The BCN Networking Group held a golf tournament last week at Del Webb's Lincoln Hills course to raise awareness of their group, allow its members to network with each other, and to raise money for the Sacramento Kings children's charities. Wave's own Krista Hefner was on hand, and she introduced us to the organizer of the event.
I'm here with Allison Lakonich, and we are with BCN doing a golf event. And Allison, can you tell us what's going on here today? We have a Kings event. We're basically sponsoring a charity. So can you tell me what's going on with that?
Absolutely. BCN, we're a Building Connections Network, and we are a network of commercial real estate professionals. And we're here benefiting the Kings Foundation, which supports a kids charity. So we're doing a number of different fundraisers. We have a number of different companies out here today to help support us, and we'll finish up with a fun dinner, and we appreciate everyone for coming out.
Yeah, and there's great barbecue and drinks going on, and it's a lot of fun, and I wish that everyone could actually participate more in this, and the way you can do that is by calling Allison
Becoming a member.
Yeah, becoming a member with BCN. So how can they find you, Allison?
They can go to our website at www.bcnetworkgroup.com.
Great. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at the BCN networking event, we are doing this golf charity fund, and it is a fun time, and I'm here with Rob, and he's with Grable, and it's one of the best holes here. We've got a lot of good barbecue, a little bit of tequila, and Rob, tell us a little bit about how this event's going for you right now today.
It's been great. I mean, met a lot of wonderful people. It's just been a great day, beautiful weather, minus the wind, but that's okay. We're dealing with that. But it's been a great day, so a huge success.
Yeah, and we've got, 144 players here today, and, it just keeps getting larger as we go. So anyone that wants to get in part of BCN and make this part of your networking group, it's the best that you can be in.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There were many types of companies sponsoring holes at the tournament. Everything from magazines to vodka distillers were represented.
I'm Lisa Bonk with Sacktown Magazine.
I'm Kara Lavoie with Palm Bay International.
All right, and what are you guys doing out here today?
Out here networking, building traffic to the magazine, and trying to get new advertising.
And I am giving people a taste of our really nice vodka, Voli vodka and Aperol spritzes.
And how's it going? Good reception?
I think
Wonderful.
people like it.
And we were having a blast. It's been really good. Really good time.
How's business in the magazine going well?
Yes, going well.
Vodka
good.
business is good, especially when you have a low-cal vodka that's packed with electrolytes. You can't go wrong.
All right, what sets your magazine apart from the competition, you think?
We are a change agent for Sacramento. We write about things that improve the city, and they're actually taking place.
And I cut you off. You were saying your vodka's low calorie.
The first low-calorie vodka, it's 25 to 40% fewer calories than any of the vodka on the market. We actually put our calorie contents on the back of the bottles, and we're packed with electrolytes, endorsed by Weight Watchers and owned by Fergie and Pitbull.
Wow.
One hole even had a margarita bar and a pro to hit your drive for you.
Nadine with English Garden Care.
Andy Palazzo, CBRE.
Anna Dovahidi, Restoration Management Company. Deanne Hinsey with Restoration Management Company.
What are you guys doing out here today?
Having fun.
We're having a good time.
Enjoying the first day of summer.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is the first day of summer. That's right. Serving up some margaritas.
Some
We've got
of us
our
are
golf
golfing.
pro over here, Adam, hitting some drives for our customers.
Everybody seem to be having a good time today?
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
And how's business for y'all lately?
Business is great. Staying busy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Busy.
Really good.
Yeah, busy's good in this economy.
And events like this help you guys expand your networks, you think?
Absolutely.
Building relationships is the main thing.
New clients for you
Yep.
guys. Yeah.
Just hitting drives for all the contestants or participants, and if they can choose to use the pros drive if they want to, you know, and I'm just having a good time.
And are you a golf pro, teaching pro here at Lincoln Hills?
No, I'm not. I'm actually a freelance golf instructor. I'm a stay-at-home dad right now, so I have 2 little ones, and just enjoying the day. It's beautiful. We got margaritas, we got hot chicks, we got golf. It's a great day.
It was a little windy, but the perfect temperature for a great day of golf. If you're interested in joining the BCN group or need high bandwidth services for your business, contact Krista Hefner at 916-663-8526.
Hi, I'm Krista Hefner. I'm with Wave Broadband. I'm in the enterprise services, so I replace copper service with fiber optics. So if you want to get rid of that antiquated service, I will basically give you the best service, speed of light, no latency, and call me, Krista Hefner, Wave Business Solutions.
Thanks, Rob. For a look at other features as well as a replay of this week's news and views, check out our video on demand selections. Just hit the menu button on your remote, or choose the on demand button, or select channel 1. Scroll down to local programs, then Sacramento area, and select what you'd like to see for free. Our live talk show is next. You loved Dixon's Grillin' and Chillin' so much the first 2 times, we're serving up a 3rd helping. Savor the pork rib and chili contest. Over 200 cars and trucks and fun for the whole family. The main event, Rodeo House, a rockin' little country band. The Dixon Grillin' and Chillin' 3 Car and Truck Show roars into downtown Dixon July 21st. Visit DixonRibCookoff.com for details. And come hungry. Welcome back. Tammy Sumner is our guest from Colpack's Bride, Inc. for this segment of the show. Tammy, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I know that you are very busy, and I appreciate all the things that you have that you've got to get started for the Colfax Independence Day celebration on July 3rd. And thank you for making time for our show.
You're welcome.
I beg your indulgence for one thing. I do need to make an announcement. You're going to read about this tomorrow in the Placer Herald. We think this is the 4th consecutive year. I know it's at least 3. Best Internet Service Provider by the readers of the Placer County Herald. Want to thank all of you very much for voting for Wave Broadband. And we are very honored by this award, and we promise you that we will continue to bring you the best. And apparently this is... this wasn't even a close call. we really got it in an avalanche of votes. So I want to thank everybody at Placer Herald for their contest, and also for everybody who distributed ballots and said Wave Broadband is the best internet service that we have. So I want to thank you all very much. It's a nice honor. It's nice when your customers tell you you're doing a good job.
It's always a good thing, yes.
Now, Colfax, of course, has, I would have to say, a very famous Independence Day celebration in the foothills.
Yes.
We've been involved here and there and a little bit in the past. Wave Broadband, of course, did a redo of our system up there, big improvements. So we're looking to be really big part of the community coming up in this holiday. I want to thank you and your organization and the Area Chamber of Commerce and the City of Colfax for allowing us to be taking part in all these events. They sound terrific.
Yeah, it's a really big event. I mean, many people have come from all around for many years to come and see the fireworks and everything there. It's just a really huge event that everybody loves. They like it because it's on July 3rd, so it's the day before July 4th, so they can celebrate twice. That's basically what it is. Because they can go watch fireworks the day before, and then they can go to July 4th to wherever their favorite spot is on July 4th or whatever and celebrate twice. So a lot of people like doing that, coming out.
Now, in addition to all your duties at Colfax Pride, Inc., and are you the main organizer of this celebration?
I'm the vendor coordinator. The main organizer is Laurel Matthey. She's coordinating the whole event, but they have separate people that are doing separate jobs for the whole event that make it all come together. So I coordinate all the vendors.
And this must be a pretty tough job. In addition to that, you also have a business that is represented at these organizational functions.
Yes.
And what do you do? What is the name of your business?
The name of my business is Face Full of Fun, and it's a face painting business. And so I do face painting at a lot of these local events, and will be at the July 3rd event as well. The whole day doing face painting, and everybody seems to love that. So we'll be doing that, and so yeah, I get really busy this time of year because I face paint a lot.
You'll be at the gazebo for the 4th of July in Auburn.
Right.
So people can come visit you there. And where else will you be?
We're going to be also Loomis Family Fest, July 5th. We'll also be there tomorrow night, but we'll be at the July 5th, we'll be at the Loomis Family Fest face painting there, and then the Auburn Air Show on July 7th.
That is a full calendar.
Yes, very full calendar.
That is almost as full as ours.
Yes.
Because we're going to be in a lot of events for the next week. I'm going to tell the viewers about it at the end of the show.
Yeah, but it's a lot of fun doing it, and the kids love it, and I have fun doing the face painting and everything, so it's a lot of fun to do it, and even though it's a full calendar. So it works out pretty well.
And how did you get involved in this kind of thing? Did you study makeup or beautician work? Or
not really. I mean, I've worked behind the scenes of television for a long time, but I've never really studied makeup. I just kind of one day was watching a face painter and thought, oh, I can probably do that, and tried it, and there you went. That's kind of where it went from. And so it just kind of went there. My husband kind of urged me into it, though, because originally he was like, oh, you can do it, and I didn't think I could at first. And then he brought home a book, a face painting book with face paint, and said, here, try it. And so
what
then
a coincidence.
Exactly. So then I had to rope him into helping me face paint because he, roped me into doing it. So.
Right.
So, but it's fun.
There's a lot of roping going on in your household.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reciprocal roping.
Yeah.
Which I guess is the best way to do it.
Yeah. So he helps me with it. And we started in 2008 face painting, so I've only been doing it for about 4 years, but I have fun doing it.
Make a lot of kids happy. That's fun.
Yes, I do.
Now, of course, you realize you're going to need extra red and black and extra white for the eyes because that's the premiere day for the new Spider-Man film.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody's going to want to be Spidey.
Well, we have Spider-Man on our board.
You do?
Yep, we do Spider-Man all the time. And so we have Spider-Man on our board, and it'll probably be very popular. And we're working on a new tiger that's going to be unveiled on July 3rd. So there's going to be a really cool tiger, and we're going to have really cool butterflies and all the normal stuff that we do. And some July 4th, obviously, designs because it's going to be July 4th.
Terrific.
So
you were affiliated with KVIE, the educational television station, PBS, in Sacramento. And you must have really enjoyed the broadcasting business.
Yes, I have. It's been fun. I really like doing it. It's just a fun thing to do. The behind-the-scenes stuff has always been something that I really like doing. So.
And how many businesses do you work with in Colfax to put together the Independence Day celebration?
I work with a couple organizations. I work with the Chamber of Commerce and the city, and then just Colfax Pride. And Colfax Pride is the organization that actually puts on the whole event, and then they get help from the city and the chamber.
Well, all of you volunteers should get a big thank you for what you do, because it certainly is one of the biggest things, in addition to Railroad Days and some of the other events that happen up in Colfax, especially around the wintertime.
They have the Winter Festival.
The Winter Festival, yes.
Yeah.
From what everybody has said, especially from people I talked to at the Chamber in the city, you're to be commended for all the great volunteer work that you do. So thank you for everything that you've done.
Oh, thank you. It's a lot of work to coordinate the vendors, because especially now when it's getting closer, because my phone rings off the hook. So, but it's fun to do it, but it's a lot of work.
Please tell us what you got on hand.
Well, I have just some information. We have several sponsors for the event that I would like to at least mention.
Sure.
A few of those. Gold Country Lionesses made a big donation, and Golden State Patient Care, Colfax Area Chamber of Commerce, obviously, because they help with the event and everything. Economy Pest Control. Totally, we're Above Productions is giving sound services to us for our stages, for there's going to be a lot of music going on several different stages, and they're giving sound services for that. And then Buzz Through Joe's Fitness for Life, Colfax Dental Care, Loadline Music, and Hanson Brothers is providing the fireworks site. And then there's Whistle Stop Quilt Shop. They're providing the raffle quilt for the event, because they're raffling off a quilt to help raise money for the fireworks for next year. So everything that we do with vendor donations or vendor fees and all that stuff helps to pay for the fireworks for next year and this year as well, because the fireworks are pretty expensive.
Yeah, I think they're from $10,000 to $25,000, depending upon how big a display you want.
Right. Yeah.
Only 15 minutes.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So so we have to have all that stuff.
Who's doing your fireworks display, if I may ask?
I don't remember the name of the company.
Pyrotechnics?
It might be.
They do a lot in this area, especially Celebrate America, and they seem to be doing a lot of business in Placer County.
Yeah, it could be them. I don't remember the exact name of the
Well, we wanted to give them a plug so they give you a discount next time.
Yeah.
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, sorry.
That's all right.
Sorry, I don't remember the name of that.
Oh, well, there goes that commercial.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But at the event, there's going to be a lot of different things happening. We're going to have a big kid zone that's going to have go-kart races, go-kart track. Cub Kart USA is going to provide the go-kart track. And then we're going to have bounce houses from a Bounce Above in Grass Valley. They're going to have a bounce house and slides, and then, the face painting and pony rides and all that stuff for the kids. But then there's going to be music all over the event. There's going to be a beer garden. There's going to be the Doxy races. They happen at 1 o'clock. The very important Doxy races that everybody loves. They do. It's very popular. And then the downhill derby at 3. I think the last time I heard, they still need more entrants for the downhill derby.
Oh, okay, good.
So if people go to the website, they can find information on how to enter the downhill derby.
That would be colfaxprideinc.org.
Right, and that's at 3 o'clock in the day, because we actually started the event late at noon. Usually it's from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And this year we're doing it from noon to 10 p.m. because it's on a Tuesday. And there's a lot of people that still work on July 3rd. So we're starting it a little bit later so that everybody has a chance to see all the events and everything.
Okay.
So, and then they have the Kiwanis Little Kids Parade at 5 o'clock and the main parade at 6. And then I guess around 8:30 or 8:45 there's supposed to be some fire dancing.
Oh, good.
Jim Bowers is providing the fire dancing, so I'm not really sure what's going on with it, but it's supposed to be that. And then when it's dark, the fireworks. So there's a lot happening at that event. And then just the regular normal vendors that you always have at the different locations with food and crafts and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a huge thing. And there's a lot of local service groups that are coming and selling different things to raise money too for their...
Oh, I know that your Seroptimists and your Lions Club are very, very popular, and they do a lot of work in the community.
Right.
Who else is going to be there?
The Colfax High School is going to be there. I think they're selling burgers, the Junior Falcons.
We got a call. So one of your friends is going to call.
Oh, okay. So... Anyway, so I think the Junior Falcons are going to be there. Grandfather's Tacos Grandfather's Tacos is a really huge, famous thing. Everybody loves Grandfather's Tacos. They're going to be there. I'm trying to remember who else is going to be there. We have a lot of different, the church, Colfax Ministerial Association is going to be there.
Okay, good.
Just all these different groups like that are going to be there selling stuff.
Well, if people want to volunteer, or if people want to be a sponsor, they still have some time. And the website to go to is colfaxprideinc.org. And if you want to find out more about the things that are going on in the Colfax community, you can go to the city's website, ci.colfax.ca.us. And if you want to go to the Chamber of Commerce, it's colfaxarea.com. Is that a call for Ms. Sumter? We go. Let's see what they have to say. You are live on News and Views. How are you?
Hi, Jerry. How you doing?
All right. It's Miguel Yukovich. How are you?
Fine. Hey, I just wanted to compliment Colfax Pride because we used to go up there for many years, and then wasn't there a time when you quit the fireworks?
There was one time that the fireworks were going to not happen, and the whole event wasn't going to happen, and that's when Colfax Pride formed. To keep the event going and to keep the fireworks happening. And there's only been twice that the fireworks have been canceled. One time was in 2008 when there was a bunch of huge fires all over the place and the firefighters couldn't be there to help set off the fireworks.
Wow.
And then the other time was last year because there wasn't enough money raised for the fireworks. So if people want to make donations to help pay for the fireworks, to keep the fireworks going, that helps a lot with keeping them going. So.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought, because I knew there was a couple years, and you just mentioned the two that there were, but it's really a lot of fun. We've gone up there, and what I kind of like is as you drove down the hill, there was somebody there collecting money to help for the fireworks, and I thought that was a good idea to help. At least if you're going to go enjoy it, pay a little bit for it. So I just want to compliment you on, having a fun day up there in Colfax, and we really enjoy it. We're looking forward to going up there.
Well, thank you. We have a lot of fun putting the whole event together as well, and even though it's a lot of hard work, we have fun putting it together because we want to keep it going as well, and we know everybody enjoys the fireworks up there, so we do what we can to support that.
Good show.
Very good. Thank you, Jerry, and we'll see you on 4th of July.
Before that, you will see me Friday, Loomis Has Got Talent, Blue Goose Shed, 7 p.m. Friday.
Are you going to be there?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, we will see you because we will be there.
What are you singing?
I'm not singing. I'm watching.
Good. Okay. Thank you very much for calling, Miguel.
Are you singing?
We'll talk to you later. Thank you very much for being with us tonight.
Oh, you're welcome.
Once again, Independence Day celebration. That is July the 3rd in Colfax. Main items of interest are going to be parade at 5 for the little kids, parade at 6, the main parade. The one at 5 is for, I think, the Kiwanis Club.
Right.
And then the fireworks somewhere around 9:45, 10 o'clock.
When it gets dark, they're saying 9:15, 9:30, depending on when it's actually dark. So somewhere around there.
We are happy to be there. Your city has made us feel very welcome, and we're glad that we're able to do a good project to help our customers out up there.
Well, thank you.
And thank you for being so gracious for appearing at such little notice.
You're welcome. Thank you for having us come down and talk about it.
You're going to come back again.
Hopefully.
I will see you on the event. I will be up there. We're getting some video. We're not going to have a show next week because of the holiday. We're going to be out doing holiday stories. We're going to be out in various places in Placer County. And the 3rd and 4th, we return then 2 weeks from tonight. And we'll have some highlights of the celebration that we're looking forward to seeing on Independence Day. Thank you so much, Tammy.
Thank you.
Appreciate very much you being here.
Thank you.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll be talking to the president of the Auburn Chamber of Commerce, Richard Hall, who's going to be talking in his capacity from his business, BottomLineLawyers.com. He's going to be telling us about some of the new wrinkles in the law that have to do with all kinds of things financially that a lot of people have been ruined by, which is having to consolidate their debts, losing a house, and also bankruptcy. He'll be telling you some of the things you need to know about as part of our Economic Indicator series. We shall return after these brief messages. We'll be right
As a Wave broadband customer, you live in the home of the future. Where you live, one company provides the connections you need for one low price on one simple bill. You choose from an array of reliable options that fit your life and get special bonuses for bundling your services. And a friendly team of experienced people are always there to help. It's pretty cool where you live. Welcome to the home of the future. Bundle your Wave services today. Call 1-866-WAVE-123.
People like choices. Like the wide choice of HD programming available from Wave Broadband. Wave has all your favorite HD channels, spectacular HD shows and movies on demand, and an easy-to-use HD DVR so you never miss a thing. And with Wave, the HD selection is always growing. Upgrading is simple, easy, and the perfect way to get the most from your HD TV. With an HD selection like this, Wave Broadband is the only choice you need.
As a Wave Broadband customer, you live in the home of the future. Where you live, digital home phone technology keeps you connected in a whole new way. You can talk with friends and family across town or across the country for one low price. A complete set of digital calling features, superior call quality, reliability, and support make Wave Phone a great value. Tomorrow is calling. Welcome to the home of the future. Want to switch to Wave Phone in your home? Call 1-866-WAVE-123.
Welcome back. Little programming note. We like to try to give local acts and local bands a little bit of a boost during this holiday season, especially going to be a lot of entertainment going on.
A lot.
Our friends Rob McLean and Andy Neal, part of a group called Tight Fit, going to be appearing in Loomis at the Live Oak. That is just down the block here on Taylor Road at 9 p.m. Once again, that's on Saturday night. Go and check them out. It's Andy Neal and Rob McLean are just two members of the band. I don't remember the other folks, but I think that you'll enjoy it. They appear at various venues, and they landed a nice little gig here. So you need to go there and take a look at and listen to their work. 9 p.m. Tight Fit Live Oak in Loomis, and we hope that you enjoy it. And we're going to be probably telling you a little bit more about that as well. We're very happy to have this gentleman who has been here before, Mr. Hall. Thank you so much.
Great to see you, Jerry. Thank you for having me.
Well, we like to invite you, but you have to wear so many hats because you do so much. I sometimes feel, if we could... No, we've got to get him down here as president of the chamber only, or we've got to get him down here as attorney only, or no, we've got to get him down here as the man who has his pulse on the community.
And don't forget, as a member of Rotary.
As a member of Rotary. Yeah. Rotary Night.
Yes.
We're talking about economic indicators. Did you want to speak about what's happening on the 4th first?
Well, yeah, Tammy talked about their celebration in Colfax, which I've attended myself, and it's a great celebration. And the best thing about it, from my perspective, is exactly what she said. It's on July 3rd. And so everybody can go to that, have a wonderful time, and then come to Auburn at the fairgrounds for our Family 4th celebration. And this year is going to be, we're adding a few new things. We're going to have bingo at the 4th, so people could be in the Sierra building sitting in the cool air conditioning, play bingo, then walk out and watch the parade, then play a little more bingo, then walk out and watch the fireworks and go home. It's a great way for them to spend the day. But besides that, we're going to have 3 different bands there, a lot of live entertainment. Foxtrot Mary is going to be performing.
Oh, wow.
The Ophir Prison Marching Kazoo Band will be performing.
They are famous.
They are indeed famous. And for the first time, we're going to have Roland Hazard performing as well. So it's going to be a fun time. Auburn Recreation Department is putting on some games for kids down in Wren Park, that lower level area. We're going to have some bounce houses there as well. So we've got quite a bit of activities for kids. They're going to have a water balloon toss. I'm thinking about doing that myself just to cool off, And being a sweet freak, they're going to have a cupcake walk. So that sounds pretty appealing as well. So we're going to have a lot of activities there. We have lots of vendors that will be there. And it's going to just be a terrific thing. This year, the other thing that's different about that is we have a theme, and our theme for the event is community service. And so what we've done is ask each of the service clubs, Rotary, Lions, Kiwanis, Seroptimus, in our community to nominate someone to be honored at the event. And so each of those nominees are going to receive a plaque, and it's going to be presented by this year's McCann Award winner, Angela Atterbury, and as well as representatives from, or in fact live in person, Tom McClintock, Doug LaMalfa, Supervisor Montgomery, Supervisor Holmes, and a variety of public officials, Councilman Mike Holmes. So we're going to have a lot of folks there. It'd be great to honor them, because in our community in Auburn, we have a tremendous amount of volunteerism, and it's amazing how much the community service clubs do. And we thought it's time to acknowledge that and honor that. And so that's really what this year's theme is about. And we have a number of people that have helped make this event happen. My spouse, partner, is also co-chair of this event, Dee Paul at BottomLine Lawyers, and Reese Browning, that lots of folks know from Old Town Pizza, is the chair for the vendor activities. Lowell Jarvis, who sits on the PCWA board, has been handling all the infrastructure issues and doing a great job. Don Cederland, an Herbalife distributor, is helping tremendously with putting this together, and many, many other people, too numerous to take the time to go over them all now. But I want to thank them and acknowledge them, and just say this is going to be a great community event. The Chamber of Commerce is the one who organizes this year in and year out, and it's our privilege to organize that. I took it on as chairperson because it's my favorite holiday of the year. You know? So I think it's just absolutely terrific. It's an opportunity for people to express their patriotism and not their politics.
Yeah.
You know, and bring us together rather than divide us. Right.
Good point.
Good event. So please come and join us.
I got to admit, I do enjoy your 4th of July one, but I do have a favorite in Auburn, and that's the parade at wintertime, the Festival of Lights.
Festival of Lights.
I think that is some of the most ingenious stuff they do with kids and cupcakes twirling down the street. I still can't figure out how they did that, and all these beautiful light decorations. The Chamber should be congratulated for putting on an excellent family event.
Thank you. And we're going to have another great parade this year for 4th of July.
Yeah.
Jack Morris with the Loomis Lions is actually the head of that effort, and they've put on a tremendous show every year, and this year will be no different. This year the Chamber is going to have its own float in the parade, and we have a lot of dignitaries that are going to be there, and just a lot of entertainment. One of the things that's unique we haven't had before is the U.S. Army Band is going to be marching in our parade.
Great.
And the Auburn Police Department and Auburn Fire Department are going to provide the color guard for them to march behind. So it's just going to be an exciting, very patriotic, very visceral event.
It should be wonderful.
Yeah.
Now, people needed for volunteer work to help out with this, or sponsors or anything?
Yeah, we've had quite a few sponsors. The City of Auburn and the County of Placer have again posted significant money in order to put the fireworks display on. But in addition to that, we have a number of other sponsors. Old Town Pizza, the Auburn Rotary Club, BottomLine Lawyers, the ARD, Strictly Toyandas, Harris Industrial Gases, First Northern Bank, Wave Broadband, K-High, Auburn Recreation Department, Gold Rush Chevrolet. Did I mention that? I think I mentioned Angela Atterbury is going to be our Grand Marshal.
Yes, sir.
And she was the McCann Award winner, and she's going to ride in a vehicle provided by Gold Rush Chevrolet.
That's really nice.
Yeah, so
she's a very nice lady.
Excellent. Yeah.
And I want to thank you folks too. We appreciated very much the welcome that you made us feel when we went up there for the State of the Community dinner. That was great.
It's great to have you there, and that was a very different State of the Community we've had in the past. It was very well received. So.
Well done.
Yeah.
And we got a call, so I think that might be Jeff Greenberg who's calling in this evening. But the thing that I enjoyed about that was I never realized just how many people you have in so many diversified fields who just epitomize volunteerism and try to get out there in the community and do something in this time of need.
I have consistently been amazed at the Auburn community. Not to take anything away from any other community, but Auburn just has a tremendous amount of volunteers, and the service clubs in particular, they make things happen that you wouldn't even know about. I'll just give you one for instance. The Rotary Club that I belong to, the Downtown Rotary Club, actually has its own garden at Virgil Trainer's property, and last year I think the total, if I recall right, was about 20 tons of fresh fruits and vegetables that went to the food closet.
Yeah.
You know, so it's that type of thing that all the service clubs do in our community. So it's time to honor them.
The place to go is auburnfourth.com for information on what's going to be happening, all the events that you heard Richard Hall talk about. And you can also go to auburnchamber.net, We are a proud member of the Chamber of Commerce of the City of Auburn. What you need to do is you need to join up, or go over there and volunteer and find out what you can do to help people in Auburn. You don't have to be from Auburn to be a member of the Chamber, correct?
That's correct. It's just a great way to network with people and get to know the businesses and the opportunities there. And certainly anybody who would like to help out at the 4th of July events would certainly be appreciated. You want to help us decorate the float, you want to help moderate traffic, you want to help distribute bingo cards. There's all kinds of things to do. And they can find out about that by sending an email to help@auburnfourth.com, HELP at auburnfourth.com.
Okay, so keep that in mind. I know that you have a lady who has been working in Auburn and volunteer for more than 60 years. Her name is Gloria, and she was working with the Food Basket program. I met her, I think, a couple of years ago. She's a very nice, pleasant person. Just one of the many volunteers that you folks have.
Yeah, we just have a tremendous number of volunteers, and she's certainly one of the more notable ones for her longevity at this. It is simply amazing.
It's quite amazing, too, that there are people like fourth-generation Auburnites. I walk in here and I feel like a stranger. I've lived here for 12 years. I walk in and say, your name, I've seen your name somewhere in town in a storefront or something. I go, oh yeah, my great-great-great-great-grandfather founded the place. You know, sorry. But it's great because if you love a city that much, that's where you get all the volunteers, and that's where you get the city pride. That's where you get evolution of a place into a great place to live. And
absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
nice tax base.
We kid Mike Holmes, City Council, and Jim Holmes, the supervisor, because they're brothers, and they're multi-generational in Auburn. You know, born and raised in Auburn, and know everybody and everything, and that comes in pretty handy. I've been there 17 years, and I still feel like a newcomer.
I know. And it's like it's amazing too. You go. Sometimes we do drive-outs where we look around and make sure that our cable system is in good shape. And all of a sudden, I'll just go down some back alley. I think one of the last ones I found out was, it was right near, I want to say Moss or Beer Alley or Beer Run or something. Brewery Lane, there we go.
Brewery Lane, yeah.
I found Brewery Lane. Yeah. I've heard about it, and I said, look at this. This is like stepping back into 1890s or something.
Yeah.
Quite amazing.
Yeah. And the old Placer Bank building right there in Old Town. I mean, heck, very interesting stories about that, too.
Yeah, it's a very interesting, quaint place. I enjoy it very much. Yeah. We are going to talk to Jeff Greenberg. One thing I should mention, we want to give you a little more time, so I'm going to invite you back in the next several weeks or whenever we can figure it out after the show. We had a lot of things to get on this evening, and I know that you had a lot to talk about as far as economic indicators. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this evening. I also want to give you a chance for that. But would you be able to come back rather soon so we can continue our conversation?
I'd be happy to, Jerry.
Okay, because I know that you have a lot of things to talk about tonight. We may just scratch the surface today, but you are a very pleasant gentleman to talk to.
Well, thank you.
And smarter than me, which in this town is not hard to do. But you do it so graciously.
That's my line.
Hello, Mr. Greenberg. How are you?
Hey, Jerry. How are you? Enjoyable show this evening. Yeah, I was looking forward to the economic indicators. I had talked to you earlier about your guest and Mr. Hall in reference to the mortgage situations and everything. So we're going to have to, after we get through talking, have to listen a little bit, and then when he comes back on again, we'll call. Just to say that, you know, Auburn's a great town. It's, you know, population-wise, is completely different than what the town is itself. The volunteers, the events that go on are really great, and as you know, I've got a couple friends in business there, you know, Awful Annie's and Old Town Pizza, which are fantastic places as we have here in Lincoln. So we always try to go up and how should I say, spread the wealth, or should I say spread Jeffrey? I'm not too sure which one it is. Eating all the good food, but it's a great town, and the Old Town District is really something. Just a quick story, I remember Sherry and I a couple of years ago went up to, they had an antique show there, and we couldn't find a parking spot. Literally could not. I mean, we drove around. It was so jammed. It draws such a fantastic crowd. So we drove down to Sacramento to another event and came back up, and within 2 minutes we found the parking spot and was able to go through the show. So it's always enjoyable going up there. You know, we have a good time. So I just wanted to mention that, and up and coming for us, as you well know, is our 6th annual Rib Festival. And and we're going to have a different kind of a car show that's going to be with our show this year. It's called the Hot Rod, but really we're going to invite anybody with any year from 1600 to 2012. We're going to have cars, we're going to have motorcycles, and we're going to have a, remember the old pinup girls? Now these are very nicely dressed in the 50s theme. We're going to have that as well, going through the car areas. So we're going to have a lot of music live and a DJ. So we're going to have a good time. So it's September the 8th, and just wanted to mention that to you. And and I'm going to get off the phone so I can listen and get a little bit of information from Mr. Davis and Mr. Hall, rather, on the economic indicators, because I need to be indicated.
Good show.
Indicated. It's one of those two here.
We got about 5 minutes to talk this evening, and of course, I apologize. We had a lot to talk about as far as the holiday is concerned, so we'll just give people a little bit of a taste. I want you to come back, and we'll go into it more in depth if that's okay with you.
That's fine. Yeah, that's great.
How are we doing as far as the law is concerned? We had a brief talk a little bit ago about the laws have been changed now as far as what people can and can't, I guess, take off their taxes or figure as their net worth, etc.
Well, there's a notable change recently is with respect to what's called an offer in compromise. So if someone is delinquent in their taxes to IRS, whether they be income tax or payroll tax, as long as it's not trust fund taxes, that amount of money can be compromised. And that's not something to be undertaken lightly, because we all have our responsibility to pay taxes. But there are circumstances that occur for people that make it virtually impossible for them to pay taxes that are owed. And the process that the IRS has for that is called offer in compromise. And the law changed, or the policy changed with the IRS in mid-May, approximately. And they made it a more regimented practice of applying for an OIC. It used to be, in my opinion, it was more subjective. Now it's more objective, and it's more likely that you can get an offer in compromise approved by the service than it was in the past. And so, we don't want people to be misled. You'll see people used to run ads, settle your $10 million tax liability for 50 cents, and just crazy things like that. And those things are misleading, and they really build hope for folks that is not appropriate. So I don't like that when they do that. But if you have a substantial tax liability, then you're going to approach your CPA or attorney about pursuing an offer in compromise. I'd say substantial would mean it wouldn't make sense for you to pursue that unless you're owing $10,000 or more, which amazingly to me, there's a whole lot of people who do.
Yeah.
And for amounts less than that, the Internal Revenue is generous about repayment plans. And they do tack on interest and penalties, but you can do that. The other thing, though, is that in bankruptcy, which I do a lot of bankruptcy work, taxes can be discharged under certain circumstances. So it's important that if that's a consideration, whether it's for a business or a consumer, that they spend some time with someone qualified to do that analysis and figure out if they are potentially eligible for a discharge of their tax liability. And this has tremendous implications, and to me is symbolic of a recognition by the Internal Revenue of what's happened in the economy in general, that businesses have been hurt by the downturn in the economy, individuals accordingly that run those businesses have been hurt. And as you well know, that literally 80% of all the new jobs that get created in this country are as a result of employers that have 10 or fewer employees. I mean, it is just dramatic how important small employers, and not classified small business the way government traditionally does, because that's 500 employees or less.
Yeah.
But really 10 or less are really where the action is, so to speak. And so those are also people that are more marginal in terms of their survivability, depending on the type of industry. I mean, think of the contractors in Placer County. I've had a lot of contractor clients because building has just stopped, come to a halt. Think of the realtors who used to be selling a whole lot more property than they are currently. Think of mortgage brokers, and then the trickle down of that, because when those folks don't have any money to spend, they're not spending it even at Target or the local stores or shopping or eating out, that sort of thing. So I think the IRS has acknowledged that and responded to that. The thing that I'm again impressed with is the resilience of our small business people and individuals in the community of adapting to this change in the economy. It's not an overnight change, and it's not something that looks likely to change substantially for the better anytime in the near future. There's a lot of talking heads out there and a lot of people that are a lot smarter than I am, but just looking around the globe at the different things that are going on, whether it's Greece or France or Italy or Portugal or Spain, and what's happening generally in Europe with the EC, it's not looking real rosy at the moment for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And over the long haul, very different for the United States. Interestingly, of all the countries in the world, the U.S. has the best GDP growth in the world. Now, it's not terrific, but it's the best that there is.
Right. One thing I need to clarify: you are a practicing attorney, and I certainly don't want to ask you a question that you might not want to give an opinion on, because you have to stay objective in your work. But I'm just going to throw it out, and if you'll hear my opinion, and you can join in on it, or you can say you really don't want to discuss that. That's all right, because I respect your occupation, and sometimes you have to have a certain discretion about subjects.
Sure.
It would just seem to me, when you were mentioning that, my interest was piqued about the fact that the IRS seems to be relaxing its blame, so to speak, let's say, on people who have faced financial, disasters.
Yeah.
I would consider that their way of saying sideways. They think a lot of these mortgage bankers and these other guys pulled a fast one, and were using the federal government as a scapegoat because they were saying the feds were pushing them to lend or to give houses to people who could not afford them based upon some racial equations or perceived value of which. And it would seem as if my answer to that, in my opinion, is that's all fine and well and good. If you want to admit that, okay, there's two sides of the story. There were people who may have been a little too naive or maybe a little bit crooked who went ahead and said, okay, let's try and see what we can do. But there were also a lot of people on the other side that were turning the instruction book aside and going ahead and saying, don't worry about a lot of this paperwork that they traditionally for decades relied upon. What I'd like to see is the IRS go after, or the federal government go after these banks, and et cetera, who skated sideways when it came to taking responsibility.
I agree with that. At this point in the savings and loan crisis, over 1,000 people had been convicted for their fraud in generating that crisis. To date, I think we have 2 convictions in this crisis, and that's simply not right. There's plenty of blame to go around in a variety of places, there's no question about it. That there is a documentary that was done a couple of years ago, actually, at this point. Inside Job, I think, is Inside Job or Inside Story.
Yeah, narrated by Matt Damon.
Yeah,
I saw it.
That's very informative in that regard, and relatively speaking, politically neutral. It's hard for anybody to be completely politically neutral in this issue, but nonetheless, it is reasonably so. And there's quite a few books out on the topic as well, but that's all retrospectoscope, looking backwards. Looking forward is pretty interesting. Michael Lewis has a new book out also. I believe it's called Apocalypse, but it's Michael Lewis, the same guy who wrote The Big Short, and it talks about sovereign defaults and what's going to happen there. I mean, for me, it's a very interesting topic. I follow this stuff closely, but it's not really anything that we are particularly going to affect individually. But on a very personal level, there are things we can do, whether it's reorganize your debt generally through your own process or through a bankruptcy proceeding. One of the things we've been able to do is give a lot of people a fresh start through bankruptcy, and it can be reasonably complicated and take a long time to work through a process. We've had people that we've worked with for more than 2 years to prepare them for the filing, guide them through the filing, and get them through that entire process.
Yeah.
Or if they're trying to adjust their mortgage in some way. What I will tell you, economic indicator, is where people were reluctant 2 years ago to walk away from an upside down house, that reluctance is gone.
Really?
Absolutely gone. People are 7 days a week are saying, you know what, the house isn't worth what I owe on it, and I'm not staying. And from their perspective, you know, if you're in my age group, if you're anything over 45 or 50, the likelihood of the housing market recovering in your lifespan, or certainly in your working lifespan, is very slim. You know, and so it's tough for folks, because you're going to go into retirement with a house that's upside down, with a payment maybe you can or can't afford in retirement, and if anything happens, you're reaching in your pocket to put on a new roof or do some new plumbing or whatever, and an investment you'll never get back. So there's it's tough issues for people, and at the same time we have folks that are very, very attached to their homes. They really want to stay in that particular house. And so then we work with them to find things that can happen. And on an investor level, we work with a number of investors. In the Bankruptcy Code, there's a provision where an investor can go in, and if they have a mortgage for $2 million on a property that's now worth $1 million, they can get that mortgage reduced to $1 million, not by negotiation, by court dictate.
Nice.
You know, so
nice.
That's a reorganization under Chapter 11. Can be for an individual, can be for a business or a corporation. So there's a variety of opportunities out there for folks. The main thing, if I can communicate any message, it would be, if you have financial challenges, if you have questions, go talk to someone who's informed on the topic so that they can help you make good choices, because it's really easy to make the wrong choice and hurt yourself over the long haul.
Is it hard for you and your partners in your firm to keep up with all the changes and all the laws and everything? I know that you were at a seminar just recently in San Diego or Southern California, and you were there for more than a week or so, and you came back and spoke to you. You said, yeah, it was quite a lot of information coming out.
Yeah, there's one thing that I went to was about the tax situation we've talked a little bit about, and the other one was a forum put on by the bankruptcy judges throughout the state of California, which was very informative about new developments, and it's the best way to keep on top of things that are happening. I don't want to get too deep into law, but there was a case, the Stearns case that came out last year, that's made a dramatic impact on the bankruptcy practice from the point of view of judges, because it limits what they're able to do under the Constitution. So, but you're right. There's many changes that are occurring on a regular basis, and not only in the law per se, but in the policies that are implemented by our government at different levels. As a complete aside, I'm thinking that come July 1st, when the state budget changes, it's going to be ugly for a while, because there's going to be a lot of reductions, and this is before we even consider the governor's tax proposal. So,
thank you very much, Richard Hall. I want you to come back very soon. Forgive us, we'll give you more time. We're running a little late this evening and want to talk a little bit more about this very fascinating subject. But thank you for giving us
an update
on the Auburn 4th of July. We will see you up there. Everybody, have a wonderful Independence Day celebration, whether you go to Colfax, Auburn, or any of the other things. We will be at all these places, including Celebrate America this weekend. Look for our Wave booth at the Loomis Family Fest Thursday night. And we will also be in Colfax and Auburn. For all of you who voted for us on Best of the Best, it'll be coming out in the Plaza Harrow tomorrow. Thank you very much. Rob, we got to go down there and steal some newspapers at the Chamber while Julie and Robin aren't looking. Oh, excuse me. I was just kidding. We'll see you again 2 weeks from tonight. We're off next week. Have a great and happy and safe 4th. Good night.
The views and opinions expressed in the preceding program are those of the host, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily the views of Wave Broadband or its advertisers.